Hey everyone, thanks for stopping by Joe Naab Talk Sports. Today we're going to take a look into some of the don't miss player matchups for week 2 of the NFL season. Starting off with Denver versus the Dallas Cowboys. Von Miller and Tyron Smith, both all pros, the hands down best players at their positions. How is Von Miller's pass rush going to affect that gameplay? Is Tyron Smith able to handle it? Both freak athletes for their size. Be a great can't-miss matchup. Interesting to see who pulls that one out. Over to the Eagles and the Chiefs. Both Carson Wentz and Alex Smith had a great opening to their season. Alex Smith, 368 yards, 148 passer rating, 4 touchdowns, no interceptions. Definitely one of the best games of his career. Carson Wentz, 307 yards, 2 touchdowns, 1 interception, 96 passer rating. Both looked good. They say Carson Wentz is a new man out in Philadelphia. I've got them going to the Super Bowl, so definitely a great matchup following 2 Week 1 wins for those teams. Heading over Pittsburgh and Minnesota. Antonio Brown, best wide receiver in the league against Xavier Rhodes. See how Xavier handles that passing game. Both teams looked okay in their Week 1 matchups. Vikings had a pretty easy one against the Saints. That offense looked good, defense looked good. Pittsburgh struggled a little bit against the Browns. We'll see how that offense bounces back against a tough Vikings team. The Bills and the Panthers. Got LeSean McCoy, definitely an elite running back against probably the #1 middle linebacker in the league in Kuechly. Be able to see which one of those leaders is able to come out on top in that game. Personally, I think the Panthers come away with that one. Definitely Kuechly is going to be a big part of that if he can hold LeSean to under 100 yards rushing. Over to the Jaguars game as they take on the Titans in an interdivisional matchup. How is Taylor Lewan going to handle Calais Campbell, the new addition to that division? Campbell made a big introduction last week with 4 sacks. This guy's an absolute monster. Veteran in the league, had his best game against the Texans last week. See if he's able to pick that up. Both guys are 6'8" monsters. Obviously, the Titans are going to look to establish that run game as they've been doing in recent years. But Campbell's also a tough run defender as well as a great pass rusher. So definitely a can't-miss matchup on the left side of that offensive line and the right side of that defensive line. And the last one to look for Week 2, Brees and Brady. Both coming off of Week 1 losses. Let's see how they bounce back. Obviously, 2 future Hall of Famers. Some people are calling Brady the greatest of all time. Honestly, if you look at Brees statistically, I know he doesn't have the Super Bowl rings to back it up, just the one, but Brees statistically, if he can come off these next 2 seasons averaging anywhere near what he normally puts out there, he's going to probably end his career as the greatest in terms of passing yards, completions, touchdowns. The guy is an absolute beast, and really interesting to see which one of those teams bounce back off of their Week 1 losses. Probably looking like Brady's going to come away with that victory down in New Orleans. So that wraps it up for the Week 2 edition of Player Matchups. Follow along on Twitter and hit subscribe for continued coverage throughout the NFL season.